Josef Mengele, the infamous Angel of Death, came to Auschwitz in 1943 to conduct experiments on prisoners, especially twins, in the name of science, quote-unquote. He escaped imprisonment after the war and became a citizen of Paraguay in 1959. He later moved to Brazil, where he met up with a former Nazi Party member, Wolfgang Gerhardt. In 1985, a multinational team of forensic experts traveled to Brazil in search of Mengele. They determined that a man named Gerhardt, but believed to be Mengele, had died of a stroke in February 1979 and was buried under that name. In 1985, German police, working on evidence they had recently confiscated from a Mengele family friend, located what was believed to be Mengele's grave and exhumed his corpse. In a strange twist of fate, the person who helped confirm that the body was indeed Mengele's was a U.S. consular officer named Stephen Daci. Daci was born in Hungary in 1933. He immigrated to the U.S., became a forensic dentist, then joined the Foreign Service. He was posted to the U.S. consulate in Sao Paulo in the mid-1980s. Originally, Daci was just supposed to observe what the investigative team was doing and report back to Washington. Nowadays, labs can identify people using DNA. In 1985, however, there was only dental records and fingerprints for positive identification. But for the body, there were no fingerprints. The exhumation yielded only a skeleton. The Germans had created an extensive chart of the skull with over 40 labels for various points on it. Through a technique called craniometry, you can match up those points with photographs of the person you're trying to identify. There was only one feature on the skull that did not have a label. That was a hole in the left cheekbone. None of the other researchers noted it. Daci pointed this out and believed that this was a sign of an abscess. After several days of research, they determined that there had indeed been a long-term infection of the sinus area of Mengele's jaw. From questioning the people who harbored him, they discovered Mengele would often get dental abscesses on his face, which he then would lance with a razor blade. This infection eventually worked its way into the sinus cavity. Daci later decoded Mengele's diary, which police had discovered, and this led him to the dental records, further confirming Mengele had suffered from an abscess. Forensic investigators agreed with the conclusion that the body was indeed Mengele's. Today, Mengele's bones, including his skull, are now used in Brazilian forensic science courses. A footnote. Years earlier, when Daci took the State Department's Foreign Service exam, the interviewer was greatly amused that a dentist would have pretenses of entering the Foreign Service. ADST.